All right, so Eric joins me from Young the Giant. Good morning, brother. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you. How about yourself?
Very, very well. Excited that you guys are back, actually. I got to be honest with you.
I'm very excited. Very excited.
So, the new record is out on May the 1st. It's called Victory Garden. Is Victory Garden just somewhere we're trying to achieve mentally, or is that like a real place?
Victory Garden is somewhere the band felt like we were striving for in regards to getting back to our shared humanity as brothers, as friends. And I think it resonated with us at this particular time because I feel like the world is feeling that. I feel like we're a reflection of I think what's going on with just technology and politics and everything going on right now. So I think for us, we wanted to get back to our roots of being five guys, five friends in a room together, having empathy for one another, and diving in. So the Victory Garden is a state of mind that we are continuously striving for. It's not somewhere we've reached or feel like anyone's necessarily reached. More so a place that we are hoping to get closer to in regards to having more empathy. We talk about radical empathy on this record, and I think that's what we're feeling we need, and in reflection, what it feels like people are wanting right now,
Yeah, I
or
mean, for more than just the five guys in the band, you're absolutely right. Like, that is something the world could use a little more of, a little more empathy, a little more of a similar goal where we're all just trying to get to a place where we can all enjoy a Victory Garden.
absolutely, absolutely.
And so with that, the new song, absolutely loving it. I got to be honest. I've been listening to it on a loop.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so
It,
much.
it just sounds so great. And like, it's weird. I was thinking back, like looking back, like it's been 15 years since the debut record came out, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
15 years. How much have you changed and evolved and tried to avoid pitfalls? Like, what is the evolution of yourself as a songwriter in those
Hmm.
15 years?
I mean, just the experience of working with so many different people, so many different collaborators, whether it's the band, whether it's other songwriters, producers, working on records with the band, just as an individual, soaking up the way other people do it, the way other people approach songwriting, and absorbing and producing, and just absorbing all of the different ways that people approach it. And I think as a band, we've gotten to this point of almost a return to form in the sense that, as I talk about, with Victory Garden, this idea of the getting back to our roots and the humanity of it. As a band, we really wanted to be together, all five of us, from the writing process to the recording process, and really uh, go back to that first record. And over the years, that's evolved. We've gone into more separate tracking, more producer forward, kind of sonic minded material. And I think with this record, it was very much all collaborative, writing together, bouncing off of each other. And myself and our singer Samir and our drummer as well, I would say, really focus in on more so the lyric melody side of things, chord, the sonic landscape and ideas come from all of us. And songs can start from a spark, whether that's a drum beat or a synth bass. On this record, we used a Moog Sub 37 and had a lot of kind of arpeggiating synth basses, and anyone could kind of come up with a spark. Anything that kind of piqued our interest as a collective would spark a new idea, and with different kind of love. I mean, that was a real example of all five of us just putting our minds together and making something that we feel is a great representation of what we do as a team, as a collaboration.
That's such a great way to sort of sum it all up because I talk to a lot of bands, interview a lot of bands, and they have sometimes this like regimented writing process where it's like the one guy, he writes the lyrics and then they give him to, and he sort of puts a melody to it and then they build it from there. But the idea that it's like, oh, that synth sounds cool. How do we work with that? Oh, I've got a line here. I gotta say, the line in Different Kind of Love, living in a house that's not your home, hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I was getting hit by a freight train. because I've had that both literally and metaphorically in just my life of like, there's been moments where I'm literally living in a house that's just transitional and it's just whatever. And there's also times you feel like in your own body that you're like, is this, am I being who I'm supposed to be? Sort of thing. I don't know. I loved that though. What a line.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
And working with Brendan O'Brien probably didn't help or didn't hurt either. Anyway.
Did not hurt at all. Yeah, Brendan was incredible. We were kind of searching for the right producer for this particular record, and one of the things being five guys that are so collaborative in the songwriting and the producing side of things, we tend to overthink, as most, a lot of artists do. And so I think with this record, we wanted to find a producer who was going to help us combat the overthinking. And Brendan came to mind. One of my all-time favorite records is The Rising by Bruce Springsteen, which Brendan produced. And it's such a hopeful record. And also just the way that Brendan's able to capture a band or a group together and the energy of that group is so inspiring to me from, I mean, countless records that he's done over the years. And so that particular record really kind of sparked an idea of, we wanted to capture that energy, in our own way, obviously. But when we met with him and kind of expressed our desire to combat this overthinking that we tend to do in the studio, we really felt like it was the right home for this record working with him. I mean, we did the record in terms of recording the final product, the final songs that made the record. It was about 3 weeks of studio time with Brendan. So it
Oh,
was
wow.
quick. We had the
Yeah.
songs written and we had them demoed and stuff, but as a band, but in terms of getting in, cutting everything for the final tracks, it was about 3 weeks. So that was helpful in terms of he's a master of keeping the ball rolling, the momentum in the room. Producing is there's so many different ways of approaching producing, and we've worked with many different incredible producers. And there's obviously the sonics and the engineering and the microphone choice and all of these things and your taste, and also there's the personality and like how you keep the flow of energy moving. And I think Brendan's a master at keeping that momentum going.
Yeah, and I think that that deserves sort of a round of applause for you guys too, to be able to look at that and go, we need a voice like that with us to make sure that we're not in our own heads and stuff. Because I mean, like when you again go back 15 years, like My Body comes out and that song is still on the radio every single day. It would be pretty easy for you guys to go, let's just try to rewrite that song for the next like 25 years, right? And you guys
Right.
haven't done that. You've worked with enough different artists as far as producers and such go that the records are different, evolving, but also familiar enough that it's easy for the fan base to go with you. I think, like as a fan, I think it's pretty easy to
Hmm.
say.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean that was always, I think, with the second record, like any, the age-old sophomore record, after that first record, with My Body and Cough Syrup, we struggled a bit on that second record, and that was Mind Over Matter, was the exploration of trying something to us that felt really different. And at the time, putting out that sophomore record, we felt like it wasn't a success like the first record, and we felt the repercussions of that and the expectations. We were young, and it was our sophomore record. And now seeing Mind Over Matter, which is, full of synthesizers and drum machines, and that song's become our most popular song in just the last few years. And looking back, it's kind of interesting that, the biggest creative swing we took on that record is our most popular song to this day. And it's nothing like My Body in terms of
Yeah,
sonics. And it's I think that for us, the most successful songs, or the songs that have felt the most just having the most life behind them. I don't even want to talk about success, about external success, but almost internal
sure.
success as well, tend to be the ones that we just loved being creative together and trying to push each other forward in terms of new sonic territories, new songwriting styles, new approaches of songwriting. And I think that's our most popular songs have been the ones that we've just felt the most inspired to create.
And I think that you can hear that that's coming different kind of love because that's going to be one that people are going to go nuts for. June 22nd, you're finally going to make it to Toronto. We'll see you with Cold War Kids, and hopefully we'll all achieve a victory garden together that evening.
Yes, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast.
I appreciate your time, Eric. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to the record on May the 1st.
Thank you, Adam. All right, man. Talk to you soon.